Manchester United players growing tired of Ten Hag's public criticisms and tactical decisions. Negative leaks are doing the rounds as per usual when things go downhill at Old Trafford, and this time, it's that the players are losing patience with Erik Ten Hag over his public criticisms and tactical choices. That's according to a report by Samuel Luckhurst of Manchester Evening News, and he claims that sources within the dressing room have spoken to the outlet accusing Ten Hag of favoritism, with certain players seemingly never being aired out for their poor performances to the media. Others feel they are routinely rounded on by the Dutch coach. As well as that, members of the squad believe that the manager's tactical approach has been forced to change in Antony's absence, as the Brazilian is overseeing a period of absence to deal with assault and abuse allegations from 3 women. Such players feel they've been placed in an awkward position of having to cater to the new instructions, and Mason Mount is now expected to take a stint on the right flank when he returns from injury. Ten Hag was disapproving of the performance of his side in Munich on Wednesday, when United lost 4-3 at the Allianz Arena, with Bayern Munich's goals being deemed easy giveaways. So what is your opinion on this matter? What do you think about Ten Hag? Manchester United prepared to sell Jadon Sancho to the highest bidder in January. Manchester United are prepared to sell Jadon Sancho to the highest bidder during the January transfer window, according to Daily Star. The England international is currently suspended by the club following his public outburst over Erik Ten Hag's comments following the Arsenal game. Earlier this month, Ten Hag revealed that Sancho was dropped due to his poor attitude in training, but the attacker was not pleased with the reasoning. He accused the manager of giving a false statement and making him a scapegoat. As a result, Sancho has been suspended from any first-team involvement. Sancho's return depends on a face-to-face apology to the manager, but for now, he has no desire to do. It is now reported that United would be willing to cut their losses on the £73 million signing as they look to get rid of him during the next transfer window. They would be prepared to offload him to the highest bidder. Former club Borussia Dortmund have no plans of entering the pursuit of the 23-year-old. Sancho has endured a difficult time with United over the past 3 years. He was initially touted as the club's permanent solution on the right side of the attack. However, he barely impressed from the role. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer recently said that Sancho prefers the left wing, but he faces huge competition in the position. Marcus Rashford is normally an undisputed starter on the left flank. With the emergence of Alejandro Garnacho, Sancho may struggle to break into the lineup. United could experiment with him in the number 10 spot, but then again, he could be restricted to cameo roles as Bruno Fernandez is guaranteed to start as the captain. We are not surprised that Sancho has grown frustrated, but venting his anger towards Ten Hag was the wrong thing to do. He still has time to apologize for his mistake. If he shows no contrition, United could realistically offload him in January. They may have to accept a reduced sum with his lack of playing time and huge wages involved. Luke Shaw and Juan Bisaka may not return before November international break. Manchester United defenders Luke Shaw and Juan Bisaka may not return before the November international break, according to ESPN. The Red Devils have been hampered by numerous injury concerns this campaign. Harry Maguire was the latest to be sidelined against Bayern Munich. Aside from Maguire, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka and Tyrell Malacia are other defenders nursing injuries, but Raphael Varane could make his comeback soon. It is now reported that Shaw and Wan-Bissaka could be sidelined for another 2 months and may only return for the game at Everton on November 25. Shaw has not played for the club since the defeat at Tottenham Hotspur due to a muscle injury. Wan-Bissaka picked up a hamstring problem against Brighton and Hove Albion last weekend. United have had the worst possible start in terms of results and injuries. They managed to cope with setbacks last season, but the story has been different this term. The club have the capacity to returning to winning ways, but concerns will be there. Ten Hag presently has Diogo Dalot and Sergio Reguilón as the only fit fullbacks. Meanwhile, there is currently no return date for Malaysia. The Dutchman picked up a knee injury over the summer and he has yet to return to individual training. United will be hoping that the 24-year-old will make his comeback ahead of Shaw and Juan Bisaka such that the manager has defensive cover within the squad. Manchester United will try to sell 26-year-old midfielder. Fishages reported that Manchester United will try to sell 26-year-old midfielder Scott McTominay to raise funds for the club. West Ham United targeted McTominay this summer to replace Declan Rice before settling for Edson Alvarez. Mirror reported that the Red Devils set a £40 million valuation for the player when the inquiry was made. The 26-year-old has featured in 213 games for the Red Devils, contributing 19 goals and 5 assists so far. United added Mason Mount and Sofiane Amrabat to upgrade their midfield this summer, casting more doubt over the Scottish international's future at Old Trafford. McTominay last started the game against Brighton and Hove Albion at home where he was criticised for his performance. We think that any good deal for McTominay will be mutually beneficial for the club and the player. The Scottish international is out of form and performing well below the quality that competition like Amrabat and Mount possess. McTominay has reached the peak year of his career where he needs to play regular football to showcase his abilities. Bruno Fernandez says young attacker deserves chances and lauds his work ethic plus availability. Bruno Fernandez heaped praise on his teammate Facundo Pellistri despite a disappointing night in Munich. Pellistri is likely to be granted increased game time in the coming weeks as both Jadon Sancho and Antony are unavailable for selection, and it's unclear when the pair will return to the fold. Ten Hag has previously opted to deploy the ever-versatile Fernandez on the wing, and could do the same when Mason Mount is fit to play again. However, him starting Pellistri is a positive sign that the 21-year-old is now trusted enough to feature in such high-profile matches. Pellistri has the full backing of his club captain too, as Fernandez told the United Stand. Pellistri is one of the players that deserves his chances. He deserves a lot of credit for everything he's been through and everything he has done for the team.